Hello. Welcome back to Socially Sound. Yeah. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Kirsty.
Beautiful. So, today's episode is how to advocate for yourself in uni. I believe someone submitted and asked for tips and advice on how to advocate for themselves. So, we're just gonna share. I will talk about my experience in uni. It was 50-50. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. In my first year, it started off alright. Before I started uni, I'd already applied for DSA, which is Disability Student Allowance. And I had an assessment with an advisor who made sure I had high quality equipment that will help me through uni. Because around that time, I can't remember if it was before or after I had my implant operation. So we were talking about what would work well with my implants. Because I lip read. Yes, I do use BSL, but I was impartial to not having an interpreter or a note taker. So we were just discussing that. It all went well, agreed, all good. Started uni, I met with the disability team. I can't remember the acronym for it, but there was a team that were dedicated to helping disabled students. And I had someone assigned to me. She was beautiful. She was amazing. She helped with emails, calls, sorted out everything. But then as time went on, I remember, because of my implants, I asked for a receiver for my Roger pen. I only received one though, but I have 2 implants. So I emailed to ask for it, and they said, well, you are entitled to 2 because we know you have 2 implants. So I just had to send like a new quote or something, and they would send it out. But then the communication broke down, and they said, you need to call us. And I said, but I'm deaf. So I'm emailing. So I emailed my disability team advisor, and she told me, sorry, I've left. You need to contact the team. I said, okay. I emailed the team, and they said, oh, just call them yourself. If you have any problems, let us know. That is why I'm emailing you, because I am a deaf student who can't contact DSA. So I've come to you because my advisor has left. You haven't given me anyone else as a replacement, so what am I supposed to do? But anyways, I had issues with transcripts. I was told to defer my exams to wait for transcripts, which meant it would impact my grades and stuff like that. So it was a lot. It was a lot. For the 3 years, it was a lot. It started off fine, but as time went on, I just struggled. I started uni in 2019, so COVID happened in my second year, and it was terrible. But my third year was a bit better, but it was still awful. So thank God I've graduated. I'm never doing that again. But through that time, I had to learn how to advocate for myself, how to email. But sometimes I had no strength. I just gave up. It was really tough. And what I've learned now, I wish I knew back then to improve my uni experience. But it's okay. You live and you learn. You live and you learn.
Yeah, for me, it's quite similar. Like, at the end of my degree, I was just burnt out. My experience was kind of different because I had 4 years of uni. The first year was in a different uni, a different course, different degree, and a different image of what my future would be like. I wanted to be a social worker. But the course was just awful. Note takers weren't turning up, and why would I be expected to go to a lecture with no note takers? And I didn't have interpreters at that time. And I decided to drop out, and I moved to a different university and changed my course to Deaf Studies and Education, which I was really passionate about. And I think I had that privilege of having direct BSL teaching, so it meant that it was deaf to deaf rather than relay through an interpreter, and it fully immersed me. But I did have hearing lecturers, and sometimes when the interpreters were there, the students would be like looking at them like wondering who that is, or like looking at the interpreter and not looking at me. So I felt like
Sorry
yeah.
to interrupt, but it's a deaf studies course. Why are they looking? Why? Anyways, continue.
And with deaf studies, I have this like presumption that all of the students, or a majority of the students, would be deaf, but it was like dominantly hearing, which is great if those students want to become interpreters. But I was expecting a lot of deaf people, expecting to meet more deaf people, but that wasn't the reality. But overall, advocating for myself in uni was so important, knowing my rights, especially with DSA. DSA, if you leave it for too long to apply, like if you apply at the start of your term, don't do that. Apply way in advance. I applied in advance and it was still delayed by 3 or 4 weeks. So imagine if you apply at the start of your term, you're going to have no support for that term. Like, no support. It would be nearly impossible to get support.
Yeah, I can't remember but actually, UCL Summer School,
Same.
they told us everything. I'm so happy I went, because if I didn't go, I would have been clueless about the support in uni. But yeah, UCL Summer School, I think it's widening participation or something. It was just a deaf group of us, sixth form age, thinking about what we're doing in the next step and how to like sort that out. So they told us about DSA, and I remember I applied for it early. Like, I don't even think I finished sixth form when I applied. I think I applied before I even finished school to make sure everything was set up for October. So I would say make sure you apply early, make sure whoever is assessing you, make sure that they know what you need and accommodate your needs properly. Push for interpreters if you can. Push for a physical note taker.
Yeah.
I didn't think of this. I agreed to an automatic one, but it's literally just a microphone pointed towards the lecturer trying to pick up their voice, but sometimes it doesn't even pick up everything, and it's supposed to be connected to my laptop to transcribe it, but it failed. So make sure you ask for a physical note taker, interpreters. But the issue with interpreters and note takers is your schedule. You never know when you're going to uni, when your lectures are. It's just a struggle. So trying to have the energy to accommodate all these things, but it's not your responsibility entirely. Literally, the correspondence is between the uni and the interpreters. You shouldn't be involved in that. But a lot of the time you're asked these questions: what do you need an interpreter for? What's your schedule? Or how do you you have to speak for yourself, make sure you know your needs fully. And just advocate for yourself. Like, literally, try to engage with your lecturers as well, because a lot of lecturers are very ignorant. They're like, why do I need this microphone for? Why is there someone in the room? Why is there someone taking notes? Like, there's a lot of education there.
Yes.
Like you said, a lot of people, hearing people on the course just staring at an interpreter. You need to educate them and tell them, say, no, like, talk to me directly. You don't need to look at the interpreter. So there's a lot of education, there's a lot of awareness, there's a lot of responsibility. So it's just be confident in yourself. Yeah.
And if you feel like you need support, or you want to meet deaf people that are in similar situations to you at university, you can go to the UK Deaf Students Union. They have Instagram and different platforms, so we'll share those. But they are a great organisation, and you can find out how you can apply for DSA, or if you've got an issue at university, you can ask for advice from them. There is support out there, so please don't hold it in. Try and make those connections, because as deaf people, we will support each other. It's important.
Yeah. And funny enough, in my when I graduated, the actual graduation, that's when I met another deaf person who was in the same uni as me, but we never met each other. We had separate interpreters, and we were like, oh, hello. what course were you doing? It was really similar course, but we just didn't know each other. Like, we never met. I was there for 3 years. I never met another deaf person until I graduated.
Wow.
So I was like, really? That's so disappointing. Like, I missed out a lot of opportunity to network with other deaf people in the uni, to have my needs accommodated for. Like, I remember emailing maybe in second year saying I need help. And the team were like, oh, we didn't know you had these needs. And I was like, really? I've been here 2 years already. What do you mean you don't know my needs? Like, that's the first thing we discussed before I even started uni. So, yeah, I was quite lonely. It was really hard. But literally just reach out to other deaf people. Reach out to people on Instagram, ask. Like, I feel like a lot of deaf people don't ask.
No.
They just hold it in and suffer in silence. Just ask. Just message someone. If you message me and I don't know, I can ask Kirsty. Kirsty can ask someone else. Like, there's a network of deaf people out there.
Right.
And there's a lot of deaf educated too
Yes.
who know education rights, laws and stuff like that, who can help and make sure you're not being discriminated against in uni. So, just ask.
Right.
Yeah. So apply for DSA, be confident, make sure your needs are accommodated for,
Know your rights.
Network.
Know your rights.
yes, know your rights. And you said it, talk to the UK Deaf Student Union. Yeah.
And if you have any more advice or tips, put it in the comments.
Thank you for your time. Make sure you subscribe,
Like,
comment,
share.
share. Bye.